What's up there, guys? This is Dibalene Football Channel, Kaizer Chiefs Football Channel. Football from the fans' perspective. Welcome back. Welcome to our new video. We are doing a review of the game of Kaizer Chiefs versus Maritzburg. We lost 2-0. Kaizer Chiefs lost 2-0 against Maritzburg. So earlier on we made a preview. So I had to drag myself to come and do this. And yes, I'm very frustrated, of course, with the results. There are things that I think we need to learn out of that game that I'm going to allude on as I'm going forward. But it's a very frustrating one. 2-0. If you are new in the video, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe, of course, to turn on the notification button and to like. And I would like to hear from you in the comment section. What do you think about this game? How Kaizer Chiefs played the whole game? Just I want to hear your views from on this game. Because personally I have my own views. Very frustrated. The first thing I mentioned before this game in the preview is that this fixture is very important for Kaizer Chiefs. And what makes this fixture very important for Kaizer Chiefs, the first thing is that we are playing Maritzburg United, which is the last team on the log. The first thing that is so important about this game, last team on the log. So it means we're expected to win. Because Kaizer Chiefs is number 13, we're expected to perform better against the team that is last in the log. As I mentioned in my videos before, that the teams that we've been playing are in the upper zone of the log. So it's understandable that we struggle. But the last team in the log, we don't have to struggle. Played Maritzburg, last team on the log. Second thing is that we must get out of the relegation zone as soon as now. Kaizer Chiefs is not a relegation zone team. We are not a relegation zone team. Last season we finished number 2. We were first, number 1 for the rest of the season until the last day of the season. It is so inconceivable that right now we are battling relegation. 9 games into the season, we're battling relegation. So inconceivable, so unacceptable. So unacceptable. We can't be in the relegation. We can't be a relegation team. We can't. It's just not supposed to be happening. Baruch is supposed to be there. Other teams are supposed, not Kaizer Chiefs. Not after we played a very competitive season last year. Right now we are 9 games in the season and we are relegation zone team. No. And we don't look like we're getting out of relegation zone. No. It's we need to be out. That's another thing that I mentioned, that we need to be out of that zone by the end of this month. The fourth thing that I mentioned was that Maritzburg is a very good team. Don't take the fact that they are number last and be stupid and think they are weak. The team is still there. They had a bad start. They're having a bad start, but the team is still there. Buchanan is still there. Musiamedi, Kutumela, Ngonyama, Dylan Claston and Clayton Daniels. They are still there. Basically, Maritzburg is still the team that was there last season that was giving us problems. So don't take the fact that they are number last and think they are just going to give us a go ahead. It's not going to happen. It's going to give us a problem, Maritzburg, and it's always been a problematic team against us. And we saw against Celtics. When they played, they beat Celtics 2-1, that the team is improving and they're approaching Kaizer Chiefs with confidence of the game against Celtics. They're an improved team. They're an improving team. So it's going to be tough, that game. That is why it's important. The last thing that I mentioned making this game important is Ngcobo, the coach that was coaching us for the rest of last season. He knows those players of Kaizer Chiefs in and out. Those are his players. So Gavin Hunt will have to do better. That's one thing that I mentioned, that Gavin Hunt will have to do better against Maritzburg. They have to up his game because he's going to meet a coach that is very smart. Take nothing from Ngcobo. He might have lost the league against with Kaizer Chiefs, but he's very smart. He's able to plan for a game. Each and every game is able to plan. That is why last season we gave Mamelodi Sundowns a problem, Orlando Pirates a problem. Gave a lot of teams a problem because the guy knows how to plan for a game, how to use the material he has to win, and he knows those players of Kaizer Chiefs. Unfortunately, we did everything wrong. We didn't get anything right from my preview. The lineup of the coach, Akpe, number 1, right back Ngezana, left back Cardoso, center back Akumu and Ramatlon Pashel. A very strange defense. I'm going to speak about it. It's a very strange defensive line. And then second, the midfield, Blum and Machek. decent. They had a decent game. And then there's Ngcobo on the right, Parker just in the middle, and then Billiard on the left, and then the striker Castro. First thing, Manyama is out. Maybe it's because of injuries. I might have an understanding of that. I don't understand why was Ngcobo out of that game. Why was Ngcobo on the bench? Ngcobo has been the best player of Kaizer Chiefs the past 8 games. Past 8 games we played, Ngcobo has been our best player. Why is he not playing right now? I don't understand. I seriously didn't understand. Didn't even come as a sub for that match. That was so bad, man. That our best player in the pitch didn't start. There's no explanation. I understood against the Augusto because I thought they're keeping him for the game against the Maritzburg, but seriously unacceptable that Ngcobo had to be benched for what I don't understand. First half, I said I'm going to speak about some things we learned about the lineup and then things we learned about the game entirely. First half, decent game, was boring. Both the teams are withdrawing, are very cautious. It's a stalemate because Maritzburg is a counter-attacking team. Kaizer Chiefs has counter-attacking tactics. So there's no one who's willing to go there and attack. So it was a very boring game to watch, to be honest. Frustrating game to watch. There is no touches from Kaizer Chiefs. There are, yes, important moments of the game where Kaizer Chiefs, where more especially with Billiard, is trying to attack, waiting for those breaks. But Billiard is too isolated, trying to link up with the players, trying to link up with Castro, trying to link up with the midfield players, but too isolated. Billiard cannot do it alone. It's impossible. No human being can do it alone. Not even Messi does it alone in Barcelona. Billiard cannot be alone. Nchangase is there, creative player out. Ngcobo, creative player out. Zuma, creative player out. Billiard has to do it alone. It is not possible. It is not possible, and that's why I didn't understand why Ngcobo is out. That is why the lineup is very strange, and that's the reason why Billiard got an injury. Yes, I blame the referee for not, giving out red, yellow cards and everything, but I don't blame Billiard. Doing a lot alone will just give it a strain. I hope he's gonna recover. He can't do it alone. That's why I got an injury. It was always going to happen. It was inevitable. The second half, first, before we go to the second half, first half, there were visible, issues with the defense as always. Visible signs of a very panicking defense, a very shaky defense. They were there. First, 2 throw-ins from Cardoso, who's being played as a left back. They went very bad. The first one created a corner. It was threw the ball to Ramasham Patel, couldn't be cleared. It was a corner kick. The second one was a dangerous ball, of course, but Maritzburg couldn't take advantage of it. But signs that this guy is not an original left back. Basics of being a left back or a left wing are not there. Throw-ins and those things are things of the left back and right back. They are not there, and it shows. And the signs of defensive errors were there. Macheka also made a very wrong pass, but Maritzburg couldn't take advantage of it. There were errors at the back that were visible. That if we can be pressed, something is going to come out of this defense. Like we mentioned, even against the Augusto, review. And then second half, almost the same thing until Billiard, gets injured. And that's when I knew that Kaizer Chiefs is in for a very serious high jump. And I doubt we're going to manage it. Because without Billiard, that team looks dead. To be honest, that team is no threat without Billiard going forward. Is no threat. When Billiard went out, Ernest Middendorp, Ali Meza immediately, puts in Ali Meza immediately. There were signs around 45 to 60 minutes of the game. From 45 to 60 minutes of the game, combinations between Darrell Machege and Blom. They were playing very well. To be honest, they were built up. They were trying to get even Zuma inside into the game. And they were playing, and we had more position. Around the time, Kaizer Chiefs enjoyed a lot of position, but there was no threats going forward because there's no creative players. There's no Ngcobo, there's no Ngcobo, there's no Manyama. So there's no threats going forward. There's no Billiard. So there's no threats going forward. The boys tried. They owned the midfield. To be honest, they bossed the midfield of that team. Against Buchanan, against those players, they did well. The boys did well. there was a build-up. Until Alimeza came in, I knew that now Mirendorp is changing gears. There's going to be issues. Started issues at the back. They were exposed. The first goal was very poor, because Akumu is not a natural centre-back. Ramasham Pasha is not a natural centre-back. And the way they dealt with that cross and that whole situation was so bad. Alimeza was forcing an issue. Musiameri always forces an issue, you know him. And something is going to come out. And something came out. And my boy, Kaizer Chiefs, considered a goal and was a very poor one from our defense. The second one, I don't want to even speak about it. It's very embarrassing. Totally embarrassing goal. No team concedes like that. Even myself, I'll never concede from a throw-in, because a throw-in is an issue of organization. The right back has to pick up, the left back has to pick up, the defensive midfield has to pick up, and then the center backs, one way or the other, someone must be free. Communication from the keeper must be very clear. Basics of defending. No one needs... Ramasham Patel has been in PSL for a very long time. Abe is very old, 34. He's been in professional football for a very long time. Akumu, 28 right now, 29. In the professional football for a very long time. Ngezana also has been there. None of them are able to deal with a corner, with a throw-in. None. So embarrassing. To be honest, that is a memory that is still remaining in me. How did we consider that goal? It's a memory that's going to remain in me for a very long time. We don't, to be honest, we're done. That there's no defensive work being done in Kaizer Chiefs. There's no defensive training that is done in Kaizer Chiefs. That is one thing that I've accepted. In the training everywhere, there's no defensive drills. There's no defensive work that is being done in that team. If we are failing to deal with a throw-in, then we can't throw in. Two, we can't deal with a throw-in. Then I don't know. I seriously don't know. Very poor goal, embarrassing goal. Second goal was poor and embarrassing. So the things that we learned about this game, there are 5 things that I noted down that I think they are very important to learn. First is the inconsistencies of the team. First half this, second half this. And we've been crying about this. That Gavin Hunt's team has to be very consistent, has to show that it's a team, Kaizer Chiefs team is able to, to perform first half and second half same way. If we're managing the game, we manage the game. When we up the game, we up the game. First half, decent. Second half, very poor. Concede 2 goals. Very inconsistent. Gavin Hunt will have to deal with these consistencies of his team. It's very embarrassing. It's wrong for football in South Africa. It's wrong for us to be watching this kind of nonsense as Kaizer Chiefs fans. The second thing, lack of creativity in that game. We said, and I said when people were speaking about who's this one, Kokotapian, Ngcobo, that is gonna be back and all. I said, if there's no supply, Ngcobo won't give us anything. Last season, Ngcobo got supply from crosses. Manyama was very crucial. Maluleka was very crucial in those supplies, and Castro was there as well. Right now, there's no creativity in that team, and the creative players are there. They are being benched. Bacchus is there, is being benched. I don't understand what's happening, why the coach does not want creative players. No creativity in that team. That is the reason why Kamapilad got injured. The third thing is the defensive confusion. The lineup, I said I'm going to mention the defensive confusion. Ngezana is naturally a centre-back. Ngezana. Cardoso is naturally a centre-back. Ngezana is playing at the right as a right back. This one is playing as a left back, Cardoso. Akumu is naturally a central midfield, not a centre back. He's playing in that centre back. Ramasham Pashela is naturally a right back, is playing in the centre back. I don't know what you think. Machega also naturally a centre back, playing as a midfield. Blom naturally a right back, playing as a midfield. I don't know. There's a salad that Hand is trying to create. And it's hurting him. Unfortunately, it's coming back at him. It's biting him. And we are the ones to suffer as Kaizer Chiefs fans. That's very unfortunate. We are the ones to suffer. Why Ngezana and Cardoso playing in the side? When they are natural centre backs, why are they playing that side? Why are they playing left back and right back? Why are the players that are not natural centre backs playing in the centre back when we have centre backs that are playing that side? Seriously, I cannot find explanation for this. I cannot find an explanation for this. And what happened? What was that change of Ntiantia? To be honest, what was the purpose of the change of Ntiantia? I'm still trying to deal with it. The first thing we learned, without Billiard, Kaizer Chiefs is no threat, is nothing. Is nothing. Without Billiard, Kaizer Chiefs in the attacking, department of the game, we are nothing right now. We saw it when Billiard went out that there is nothing. Zuma is there. Zuma is very good. Very creative, not getting game time. He should be far by now. And his age does not suggest that he's a player that is supposed to be on the bench all the time, struggling. Nchanga says his age also creative, but without Billiard, we are nothing. To be honest, that team without Billiard, it's as good as nothing. There's no threat, there's nothing. The other teams are just gonna attack us and show us. I hope that Billiard is gonna come back. I hope he's gonna come back. The last thing about this game is that Kevin Hunt must get his shit together. Must get it very fast, because people are going to be very impatient with this thing. Kaizer Chiefs is not a relegation zone team. If he thinks he's gonna come here, chop and change, still does not have a first lineup. I thought we were getting the lineup okay. Now, no, it's no longer there. It just doesn't make sense. Manyama is not there. And players, there's Machega now who's in. Ngcobo is no longer playing the defensive midfield when he was featuring a lot. Now there's a lot of mixed masala in that team. There's no first team. There is no starting 11. And it's very worrisome. It is very late in the season right now. Hunt must get his nonsense together, or else we're going to point everything at him. Already we're pointing things at him. Already we're very critical of him, because this is the very same team that finished number 2. So right now he's struggling. We don't want that. I'm very frustrated. There's nothing much to say from me, to be honest. That is it. There is no love and peace today. It's so bad. For me, it's so bad. It's very frustrating. I'm going to sleep. I'm just gonna relax. I don't think there's anything, even if I can try and reimagine and try to get a better situation of that game, there's nothing better about that game. We should have went for a win. Coach made a lot of errors that I don't understand what he's trying to do. Otherwise, this is Dibalen Football Channel, Kaizer Chiefs Football Channel, football from the fans' perspective.